Good morning, everyone. You're watching Grace for Your Day. Today we're in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 44. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Did the Bible just say what I thought it said? I'm afraid that it did. That means that we cannot ignore it. It looks like you're going to have to add a name or two to your prayer list. I'm not talking about your best friend or your golden retriever. I'm talking about that guy at work that seems to look for ways to irritate you. I'm talking about that lady next door who spreads lies and rumors about you all over the neighborhood. I'm talking about that person at church who seems determined to wreck your life. I know what you're thinking. I'll pray for them. I'll pray for them to get fired or to move or to find another church. I don't think that's the kind of prayer that God is talking about here. As a matter of fact, I'm positive that God is not asking us to pray for their harm. Now, I know that when you read the Old Testament, you do find verses where people curse their enemies instead of praying for them. But Jesus is actually giving this scripture in contrast to what the people used to do. What a shock to the system this must have been to those who heard him say it for the first time. It's actually still a shock to the flesh if you choose not to ignore it and to actually apply it. What good could actually come by praying for my enemies? I don't know, maybe your prayers might be answered and they come to know Jesus. You might also be surprised to find out that when you start praying for your enemies, you might actually quit letting hate wreck your life and begin to realize that Jesus has the right to forgive them just as much as he did to forgive you. The greatest thing about this verse to me is that we find out a little bit later in the book that Jesus applied this truth to his own life when he said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Now go ahead and add those names to your prayer list today. Let's see what happens. I pray this has encouraged you today, and we'll see you again in the morning on Grace for Your Day. God bless.